Did you know that Mafia 2 had an official mobile port? Mafia 2 Mobile is a discontinued app that was once available on Java-enabled phones such as Nokia, Blackberry, Motorola, and Sony in 2010. Mafia 2 Mobile is a 2D open-world action game with a horizontal camera angle, very similar to retro arcade games. The mobile version for Mafia 2 was inspired by the early script of Mafia 2 for console versions. Artur Starzyk, Mafia 2's mobile lead game designer, had the chance to read the early script for Mafia 2's console versions, which inspired him to write the story for the mobile port. However, Artur did not have any access to Mafia 2's final script, and he didn't know what the final game would entail. That is why he and his team decided to create something new, something between Mafia 1 and Mafia 2, a new story that could happen in the meantime, bridging the two games. There is a total of 15 chapters in the mobile version of Mafia 2, similar to the console version, which also has 15 chapters. However, in the mobile version of Mafia 2 there's an epilogue, while the console version doesn't even have an epilogue. The mobile version has 2 epilogues, 2 endings, but the epilogue you get will depend on the player's choice in chapter 15. Even though both the mobile and console version of Mafia 2 have 15 chapters, the story for Mafia 2 Mobile is completely different. We're all familiar with Tommy Angelo from Mafia 1, Vito Scaletta from Mafia 2, Lincoln Clay from Mafia 3, but are you familiar with Marco Russotto? In the console version of Mafia 2 you play as Vito Scaletta, however in the mobile version you play as Marco Russotto, nephew to Vincenzo from the first Mafia game.
Buongiorno, Vincenzo.
Ciao, Paulie.
This here's Tom. Just started up with us.
Pleased to meet you, Tom. What can I do for the both of you?
We got a job to do. We need something to write off a few cars.
This classic piece of sports equipment should do the job, and if not, I've mixed up a few cocktails. Careful with them, though.
Thanks a lot, Vincenzo.
Bring back the bat. It's my nephew's.
Sure thing.
Mafia 2 Mobile's story takes place between the events of Mafia 1 and Mafia 2 in Empire City, which was the original name for Mafia 2's Empire Bay. The story of Mafia 2 Mobile is about Marco's journey of seeking revenge and justice for his uncle Vincenzo, who was sent to prison because Tommy Angelo, a stool pigeon, flipped and ratted on the Salieri crime family. Marco has waged a personal vendetta against Tommy Angelo, and nothing will stop him until he finds the rat and kills him. Chapter 1: A Short Reunion. This is the only mission in the entire game that takes place in the city of Lost Heaven, the location from the first Mafia game. Marco Russotto goes to visit his uncle Vincenzo at his house because Vincenzo previously helped out his family and Marco wants to return the favor and become an earner for the family. Vincenzo tells his nephew that they can talk about business later. Right now he wants to show Marco his latest golden treasure, and he tells Marco to meet him near the garage. Marco then goes to the garage and Vincenzo shows his nephew his favorite weapon, a golden .357 Magnum revolver, who Vinny calls Garlina. Vincenzo tells Marco to practice with the gun and to shoot 3 glass bottles with it. After the shooting tutorial is completed, Vincenzo tells Marco to go to the park and meet his soldati Luigi, who will show him how they handled beef back in the day. Marco meets Luigi, and Luigi tells Marco that it takes more than good aim to be a stand-up guy, and asks to see how his melee fighting skills are. Marco and Luigi then proceed to trade fists, and after the fighting tutorial is completed, Luigi tells Marco that he ain't no empty suit, and could be very valuable to the organization, and to go see his uncle who might have some work for him. After returning to his uncle, Vincenzo tells Marco to disappear from Lost Heaven because Tommy Angelo flipped and became a rat. Vincenzo tells his nephew that Don Salieri and a few other mustache Petes are on their way to the joint, and it's only a matter of time before they pinch him. Marco responds by saying someone needs to kill Tommy Angelo, but Vincenzo says it's no easy task, since Tommy is now a star witness and under police protection custody, so they can't even keep eyes on him. Vincenzo tells his nephew to visit our friends in Empire City. Lost Heaven is too hot right now, and Marco can come back when this whole mess is straightened out. Vincenzo tells Marco to go find Henry Tomasino, and the last thing Vincenzo tells his nephew is, "I hear police sirens, run boy run." And as you can see, the story of Mafia 2 Mobile picks up immediately after the ending of the first Mafia game. Chapter 2, A Friend in Need. Marco arrives in Empire City and finds Henry Tomasino in the park getting jumped by 4 guys trying to ice him. Marco rescues Henry by beating them all up, and then Henry thanks Marco and asks if Marco is a cop. Marco then introduces himself and says he's on the record. He's Vincenzo's associate from Lost Heaven. "He told me to find you, said you might be able to help deal with our problem, Tommy Angelo." Henry then says, "If Uncle Vinny can vouch for you, then I can't say no, and by this code I owe you a favor." Henry says he has to leave to take care of some boring things first, and tells Marco to come visit him at the circus bar in 2 hours. The mission ends with Henry telling Marco he now has friends in Empire City. In Chapter 3, Sending a Message, Marco meets Henry at the circus bar, and Henry tells Marco that Tommy Angelo is dead to us, and that he can't help Marco, but he knows one person who can, Don Falcone, the boss in Empire City. Henry tells Marco that Marco is a nobody in Empire City, so he'll have to create a name for himself in order to earn an audience with Don Falcone, since Don Falcone is capo di tutti capi. Henry tells Marco to work for him and become familia tu mia familia. Then when the time is right, Henry will introduce Marco as his right hand to the boss. The first job Henry gives Marco is to visit the Bianco Syndicate at their garage and destroy their cars since they are muscling in on Henry's action. Henry tells Marco to fill the streets with broken cars and dead Biancos. Chapter 4, Spring Cleaning. Marco meets up with Henry, and Henry tells Marco this was the Bianco's turf, and now that they're done up, the rest of the trash will try and move in. Time to hit the mattresses. In this mission, you wipe out enemy NPCs located at 3 different locations on the map. At the 3rd and final location, after Marco kills the last enemy NPC, the police show up and tell Marco, "We had a deal with Bianco, not with you. Time to teach this punk a lesson. Take him down, boys." Marco then gets 1 star and then has to outrun the police, and then the mission ends. Chapter 5, Special Delivery. Marco meets Henry again, and Henry gives Marco another job. This time it's to put an explosive under the car of a loan shark named Giorgio, who lives in a big mansion on the southeast part of town. Henry wants Marco to go in heavy since the whole neighborhood is lousy with Giorgio's boys. Marco then goes to Alex's shop and buys an explosive to put underneath the loan shark's car. After arriving at the big mansion, Marco plants the explosive and blows up the car with the loan shark inside. The police arrive swiftly, surrounding Marco, and the player gets a maximum of 4 stars, the maximum police wanted level. After managing to lose the wanted level completely, Marco then goes to Henry's house, and Henry tells Marco that he has proven himself to be a stand-up guy, and that the Don is opening the books and it's finally time to have a sit-down with the boss. Henry gives Marco an address for a meeting later in the afternoon with Don Falcone himself. Chapter 6, Finally Falcone. Marco meets with Henry, who tells him that their next assignment will come from Don Falcone himself, and to meet the Don in the restaurant east from their location. Marco arrives to the location, and Henry introduces Marco to Don Falcone. Falcone says Marco's reputation precedes him, and that Vincenzo's bond is good as gold. Falcone then tells Henry to leave them alone. Henry leaves, and Don Falcone tells Marco he has a problem with a cop named Officer Briggs. Officer Briggs is a cop on Falcone's payroll, and now he doesn't want to follow the rules, and Marco needs to take him out of the game. Falcone tells Marco that he can't kill the police officer, but there is another way to take him out of the game. Falcone tells Marco to steal Officer Briggs' weapon, and they'll use it on a contract, and then they'll plant it on him, thus connecting him to the crime scene. Don Falcone says that's how they catch the big fish who they can't kill. The Don warns Marco that Briggs' neighborhood belongs to the Moretti family, who will not be happy with his presence. Falcone warns Marco to be prepared and to go in heavy. This is the first reference to the Moretti family in the game. Marco then steals Officer Briggs' gun and has to deliver it before the time runs out. There is a 3-minute time limit that starts immediately after picking up Officer Briggs' gun. Marco then goes to the drop-off point to deliver the gun, but the man there named Jimmy says he doesn't want the gun and quits. The original plan was for Marco to steal Officer Briggs' gun, give it to Jimmy, Henry's contact, who will then use it on a job, and then they would plant the dirty gun on Officer Briggs, connecting him to the crime scene. However, Jimmy, Henry's contact, refused to cooperate and told Marco that he doesn't want the gun and he doesn't want to do any more future jobs and that he quits. Marco then goes to a nearby telephone booth and phones Henry about the situation, and Henry tells Marco to meet him at the Tiki Bar. Keep in mind that the 3-minute time limit is still running, making this the second most difficult mission in the game. After arriving at the Tiki Bar, Marco tells Henry that Jimmy wants to change jobs. Jimmy said, "You'll all have problems if you don't let him out." Henry is pissed off and says he can't leave us, we are a family, not a corporation, and tells Marco to go send Jimmy a message how much the family is disappointed. Marco then kills Jimmy, and then that's the end of the mission. Chapter 7, Lifting Stones. Marco meets with Don Falcone, who says he's pleased with his last job, and Officer Briggs is now in prison. He gives Marco a second job, to rob Moretti's jeweler. This is the second mission where the Moretti family is being mentioned. Falcone tells Marco to buy a pump-action shotgun from Fabio's shop and then use it to destroy the security alarm system. Once the alarm system is down, then Marco can steal the diamonds from Moretti's jeweler and run away. Marco does just that. He buys an 18.5mm shotgun, shoots out the alarm security system, then goes to Moretti's jeweler and says, "You know the drill, hands up, nobody move. Just hand over the stones and do it quick." Marco then gets the diamonds, but the shopkeeper says, "You can't escape. You missed that we have security now, right? Get 'em, boys." Marco then proceeds to kill the shopkeeper and his 3 security guards, and then runs away to the hideout to end the mission. Chapter 8, Madame's Honor. Marco meets with Don Falcone for a third time, and this time Falcone says maybe after this job he'll promote Marco and move him up. Don Falcone tells Marco to go and visit Mademoiselle Elizabeth, which is the name of a cat house in Empire City. Marco asks the Don, "Shouldn't I wait until after the job to go to the cat house?" The boss says he prefers Casa de Amore, but Marco is to go to Mademoiselle Elizabeth for work and not pleasure. The Don continues by saying, "Lacey's girls are very devoted to this thing of ours. They're solid earners, and in these difficult times we have to protect our interests." Falcone finishes by telling Marco to go talk with Elizabeth, the owner of the cat house. After arriving at the cat house, Marco meets with Elizabeth, who tells him that they have a problem. She says that one of their best clients, Mr. Garudi, had a little misunderstanding with his driver, and now the poor driver is, very sick. Elizabeth asks Marco for a favor, to drive Mr. Garudi home, so Marco takes the job and drives Mr. Garudi home. Mr. Garudi's avatar looks very similar to Harry from Harry's Gun Shop from the console version of Mafia 2, since they both have the same hairstyle, clothes, and they're both missing their left eye. After driving Mr. Garudi home, Marco returns to Mademoiselle Elizabeth, and Elizabeth tells Marco that they have a much bigger problem now. Some jealous pimp stole their money, and now Elizabeth can't give the family their cut. She informs Marco that the pimp hangs around in Chinatown, but she doesn't want Marco to kill him, she just wants him to teach him a lesson. Chapter 9, Madame's Honor 2. The scenery changes and Marco is now in the Chinatown district of Empire City. Marco goes around searching for the pimp who stole money from Mademoiselle Elizabeth, and he comes across a man named Wang Zhu who says, "A pimp? Yeah, I saw that peacock. He was here 2 hours ago and left with some local guys. I'll show you where you can find them." Marco then goes to the location and finds a random guy surrounded by his followers. Marco asks the guy if he's the boss around here. He's looking for a pimp. The guy then takes this as an insult since Marco is insinuating that he's a pimp, so he attacks Marco along with his followers. Marco kills them all and then goes to another location. Guy 2 then tells his goons to attack Marco, and Marco again kills them all and goes to another location. Marco comes across another guy surrounded by his followers. This is now the third guy Marco has met. Guy number 3 says, "You lost, man? Are you looking for something?" And Marco replies, "Honestly, I am. First thing, I'm not a loyal, right? I'm looking for a guy who takes care of the girls, you know, a pimp." Guy number 3 asks who sent Marco to his location, and Marco tells him that Wang Zhu did. And then the guy number 3 says, Wang Zhu played Marco. Wang Zhu works for Don Moretti, and he wants to get rid of competition. Guy number 3 tells Marco that if he does him a favor, which is to kill Wang Zhu, then he'll tell him the location where the pimp is. Marco agrees to the deal and kills Wang Zhu for lying to him, and then returns back to guy number 3. Guy number 3 tells Marco that the pimp he is looking for is in the Maya Chow restaurant. After arriving at the Maya Chow restaurant, Marco confronts the pimp and says Mademoiselle Elizabeth is not happy with you, and that today is your lucky day, you get a lesson instead of a funeral. Marco beats up the pimp, and the pimp says, please stop, I learned my lesson, take the money, give Don Falcone my apologies. Then when Marco is driving on his way home to deliver the package to Don Falcone, 13 cops surround Marco. Marco attempts to bribe the police officers with some gifts, but one of them says, you call that a bribe? You should have quit while you were ahead. Warden Jeffries is gonna love having you as his guest. Chapter 10, Off to College. Marco is in prison and wants to get out. He's told by his cellmate to speak to Marcus, the head of the Baby Dolls, a prison gang that heavies for the screws. Marco's cellmate says, you can't find Marcus. Marcus finds you. Make a name for yourself and Marcus will notice. So Marco makes his way across the prison and beats up 3 Baby Doll gang members and gets the opportunity to speak with Marcus, the leader of the Baby Dolls. Marco tells Marcus that he has some unfinished business outside and he wants a holiday, and that Don Falcone would pay him nicely. Marcus says he doesn't want Marco's money, and he's the one that runs things here. Marco then asks Marcus what he can do to get some gate time, and Marcus tells him to meet him tomorrow and show some respect, and maybe he'll have something for him. Chapter 11, Carrying Weight. Marco meets with Marcus, who tells him he needs a mule for C-Block. He needs someone to move heroin in prison. He warns Marco that it is very risky, because if he gets busted inside then he's through. There's nothing but hard time in the hole if he's caught. Marcus tells Marco to go to Rodriguez, the bagman, who will give him the package, and to be careful because all of C-Block is run by the Black Widows, a rival prison gang. On a side note, Rodriguez looks awfully similar to Tony Soprano from the HBO TV show The Sopranos. This is most likely a Sopranos Easter egg in the game. Marco then receives the package from Rodriguez and makes his way to the prison laundry room. On the way there, he beats up multiple Black Widow gang members, and he finally reaches his destination, the prison laundry room, and delivers the heroin to a Russian named Ivan. And Marcus rewards Marco with the ticket to freedom for only one single day. Chapter 12, Casino Takedown. Marco, hoping to find Don Falcone, arrives at a casino and runs into Henry. Henry tells Marco that they thought he got capped and that Don Falcone is very upset over his failure. Marco then informs Henry that he was in the joint and got a chance to get out for a day, but he has to return to prison tomorrow. And before he returns to prison, he needs to speak with Don Falcone. Henry tells Marco that the Don's in the casino. He's playing cards on table 9. Go and speak your piece. Marco arrives at the table and tells Don Falcone he got pinched with Elizabeth's money, and he got put away in the can. The warden can only look away for a day. The boss tells Marco to not worry, since he will take care of everything, but at the moment he needs Marco's help. The casino belongs to Don Vinci, who's getting fat off it, and Don Falcone wants to show him who really runs Empire City. Don Falcone tells Marco to take a suitcase from the room in the northeast part of the casino, then place it by the jackpot machine in the southern part. Inside the suitcase is a bomb, and Don Falcone warns Marco to be careful since he'll only have 90 seconds to get out after planting it. Falcone then says to meet him at Chinatown once the job is over. Marco does just that. He finds the suitcase with explosives and plants the bomb near the jackpot machine. Marco then fights his way to the exit with 90 seconds remaining. Chapter 13, Trouble in Chinatown. Marco rendezvous with Don Falcone in Chinatown and tells him how Don Moretti wants to take control over Chinatown. Falcone says we cannot let him do that and that they have to kick them out. Falcone tells Marco to go to Old Mayotaya since he owes the Don a favor. Old Mayotaya is the best stocked gun seller in Empire City. The Don tells Marco to get strapped up and come back to him when he's well equipped so that they can start some serious business in Chinatown. Marco makes his way over, and Mayotaya tells Marco that he can't sell him guns until his nephew, Ling P, is rescued, because Moretti kidnapped him. So Marco goes and rescues Ling P and returns him to Mayotaya. Mayotaya informs Marco that the Morettis are planning something big. Plenty of them have gathered on 3rd Street, and Mayotaya tells Marco to go to Crazy Mike, who has the best explosives in the entire state, and to go through the sewers and plant a bomb right under the Moretti's gathered there, and to send them sky high to the moon. Crazy Mike has the same avatar as Mr. Goretti from Chapter 8, who looks like Harry from Harry's Gun Shop from Mafia 2's console version. After purchasing the bomb from Crazy Mike, Marco goes through the sewers to plant the bomb under the Moretti's gathered on 3rd Street. The bomb detonates, blowing up 9 Moretti's gathered there. Marco then returns to Don Falcone, who tells Marco that they have an opportunity to take out Don Moretti himself. He's coming to a local restaurant to celebrate winning Chinatown. Falcone tells Marco to meet him at the slaughterhouse when the job's done, since he has a surprise waiting for him. Marco then goes and kills Don Moretti. Because there isn't any dialogue exchanged between Marco and Don Moretti doesn't have an avatar picture. And now that Don Moretti is dead, there are 2 Dons left in Empire City, Don Falcone and Don Vinci. Chapter 14, Slaughterhouse Party. Marco meets Henry and Falcone at a slaughterhouse, and Don Falcone informs Marco that he has something to reward him for all his hard work, one of Vinci's capos. They nabbed him, and he's currently on ice down in the meat locker not talking. Falcone tells Marco that he might know something about Tommy Angelo's whereabouts. Falcone then informs Marco from now on he wants him running this outfit, and don't worry about the warden since he got a pardon signed by a very friendly judge. So Marco is now a free man and promoted to capo, all thanks to Don Falcone. Marco then goes to the meat locker where Vinci's supposed capo is. He's tied to a chair, and Marco asks him for his name and any info about Tommy Angelo. The man says, "I can tell you who you are a dead man," to which Marco responds, "Wrong answer," and then proceeds to beat information out of him to get him to talk. The man tells Marco that he is Mauricio, consigliere to Don Vinci himself. Then Marco asks him about Tommy Angelo, and Maurizio says, "Nothing. I know nothing." To which Marco responds, "I guess you do need more." Marco then proceeds to beat up Maurizio until he's an inch away from death. Marco then says, "This is the last time I ask nicely. Where is Tommy Angelo?" Maurizio says, "Alright, I'll tell you everything. Don Vinci is in bed with the police from Lost Heaven. I overheard him and some coppers discussing a good spot to lay low. Tommy must be there." Marco asks where, to which Maurizio replies, "I don't know, only Don Vinci knows for sure. You should talk with him." Then Marco hears multiple footsteps, and Maurizio informs Marco that Berto and Louis and a few other of his crew members have arrived, and Marco is a dead man. Marco then kills Maurizio. In this mission, Marco has to whack Berto and Louis, and then exit the slaughterhouse. Berto and Louis are most likely Vinci's capos. This mission is hands down the most difficult level in Mafia 2 Mobile. I would even argue this mission is more difficult than any mission from the Mafia console games. In this level there are over 50 enemies, and it's a very tightly packed map with nowhere to run or hide. There's also not a lot of health kits to restore your HP, and some enemies have shotguns. After you kill Berto and Louis, Marco realizes he needs to speak to Don Falcone to arrange a meeting with Don Vinci, because Don Vinci is the only one who knows where Tommy Angelo is hiding. Chapter 15, Tough Decisions. Marco goes to Don Falcone and asks how he can reach Don Vinci since he's got the drop on Tommy Angelo's location. However, Falcone tells Marco, "As my capo, you must know that we will never deal with Vinci's organization. In fact, I want you to whack Don Vinci." Marco then replies, "This is madness. I worked hard to get this information, and I cannot disappoint my uncle Vincenzo." Don Falcone says, "Well, my boy, this life is filled with tough decisions. In room number 6, you will find a sniper rifle. Every Sunday, Don Vinci comes to the park behind his residence for a walk. You're a smart guy. I'm sure you'll make the right decision." On the way to whack Don Vinci, Marco is stopped by one of Vinci's men, who asks him, "Hey, are you Marco Russotto from Lost Heaven?" He tells Marco that Don Vinci wants him to come in and meet him at his home. It's related to Tommy Angelo. The game gives the player a choice to either kill Don Vinci or to go to Don Vinci at his house and speak to him and possibly learn of Tommy Angelo's location. And depending on your decision, you will either get Epilogue 1 or Epilogue 2. If you decide to stay loyal to Don Falcone and kill Don Vinci, the following occurs. Marco goes inside a building, room number 6, and uses a sniper rifle to whack Don Vinci. After shooting and killing Don Vinci, Marco rendezvous with Don Falcone, who tells him he now controls everything in Empire City thanks to Marco, and as a reward, Falcone tells Marco that Tommy Angelo is hiding at the old cemetery, and to go pay him a visit. Marco thanks the Don and says he can finally avenge the wrongs done to his uncle Vincenzo. Falcone warns Marco to take it easy, that place is crawling with cops and you're high on their list these days. If you kill Don Vinci, you unlock Epilogue 2. The map is a cemetery and it's raining. The mission objective is kill Tommy Angelo. After walking through the cemetery, Marco finally finds Tommy Angelo, or at least someone that looks like him. His avatar picture is identical to Tommy from the original Mafia game from 2002. It turns out his name is Freddie Luzin, a schlub from Montana. The police used them as a red herring. Freddie informs Marco that they have doubles all over the place to protect the real Tommy Angelo. Freddie only agreed to being a double since he needed the money. Marco tells the fake Tommy Angelo to scram, and then the police arrive at the cemetery. Marco makes his way towards the exit by killing all the police officers standing in his way. Marco tells Falcone it's finally over, to which Don Falcone replies, "Did you kill him?" And Marco tells Falcone, "This is over. My vendetta did not bring anything good. I killed many men for nothing. The real Tommy Angelo is in the wind. I will never find him." Falcone quickly stops Marco and says, "Don't worry, Marco, you are part of my family now, and your troubles are our troubles. Someday we will find that rat, and you can take revenge." Then a cutscene plays that says, "A few years later." In Chapter 15, Tough Decisions, if the player chooses to betray Don Falcone and speak to Don Vinci instead of killing him, then the following occurs. Don Vinci tells Marco that he doesn't know him, but he knows Marco well. Marco reduced his power in Empire City, and Vinci admits that Marco is as good as they say he is. Don Vinci tells Marco that he is aware that Don Falcone wants him dead, and that the Don would send his best man to do the job, and Marco is that man. So Don Vinci makes Marco an offer to spare his life in exchange for information on Tommy Angelo's whereabouts. Marco accepts the offer and Vinci says, "Come with me, I will show you where he is." Then you unlock Epilogue 1. The map is a cemetery and it's raining. Marco meets Don Vinci outside the cemetery and Vinci tells Marco that Tommy Angelo is hiding inside. The mission objective is kill Tommy Angelo. The cemetery is surrounded by cops, but Marco fights them and makes his way through inside. Marco comes across a man and then two more men jump out. It turns out Don Vinci lied to Marco, and Tommy Angelo is in fact far away, safe and sound. Don Vinci set Marco up. Vinci's man says, "You knew this would come. You betrayed your own family. You broke the Omerta and trusted the enemy, so you die here, like a dog." And Marco's last line is, "I accept my fate, but tell Tommy Angelo I'll meet him in hell." And that concludes the story of Mafia 2 Mobile and all 15 chapters and both epilogue endings. Neither Epilogue 1 or Epilogue 2 are canon, because in Epilogue 2 you kill Don Vinci, but he's alive in the console version of Mafia 2. And in Epilogue 1, Marco dies, but according to the official Mafia Game Twitter account, Marco is currently in prison, just like Vincenzo and Don Salieri. I spoke to Mafia 2 Mobile's lead game designer Artur Starzyk for further comments, and he revealed quite some interesting stuff 10 years later. Artur explained to me that many of the game's avatars in Mafia 2 Mobile of the characters were actually based on his colleagues who gave their faces to the game, since they treated the production of the game very seriously. In Chapter 10, in the prison mission, we can see Artur Starzyk as one of the 3 baby doll gang members that you beat up. Artur explained to me that they spent at least half a year to discuss what will be the plot or story for Mafia 2 Mobile. Originally, 2K Games wanted a simple mobile game without any characters from the Mafia Game universe, but Artur insisted to create something bigger. Artur had the chance to read an early script of Mafia 2 for the console version, and this is what inspired him to write the story for the mobile port. Furthermore, Mafia 2 Mobile's lead game designer explained to me that the game was ready before the PC and console version. And he also told me that they didn't have access to the final script for Mafia 2, so that's why his team decided to create something between Mafia 1 and Mafia 2, a new story that could happen in the meantime. According to Mafia 2 Mobile's lead game designer, the game was a huge achievement for Java devices, since every single bench, light post, bush, object, NPCs, etc. were placed manually for each level. Nowadays, developers have frameworks or ready GFX engines to work on games, however, we did not have that comfort. Now let's pause for a moment. Mafia 2 Mobile has a total of 15 chapters and 2 epilogue endings, so that's a total of 17 levels. It is impressive to learn that every single object and character was placed manually throughout each level. It is a fairly big open world game, and it takes quite a bit of time walking from one corner of the map to the other. Many missions even have side objectives, which is mind-boggling for a Java game. Mafia 2's console version doesn't even have any side missions. Artur continued by telling me, additionally we had a limited space for the game files, so assets had to be limited. There was a limit from mobile operators like version 02 and others, so the game could not be bigger than 1 megabyte, since 12 years ago people were downloading games from phone operators using 3G data. I do remember that I had to ask my boss several times for permission to put portraits in the game since they took too much space in the game file. Now for those who don't know, Mafia 2 Mobile's game size is a whopping total of 907 kilobytes. Yes, that is kilobytes, not megabytes. The entire game is under 1 megabyte. That's equivalent to 1 JPEG picture on your phone. This game took me 2.5 hours to complete from start to finish, and if you cut out all the driving, walking, and dying, it's about 1 hour of story gameplay. It's impressive that all of this is under 1 megabyte. Lastly, I asked Artur how much the game originally cost, and whether it was free on the Java App Store, and he responded by saying, I think the original price was $2.99, but I'm not sure. And that concluded my brief interview with Mafia 2 Mobile's lead game designer Artur Starzyk. Mafia 2 Mobile is the first official Mafia game for mobile phones. I personally beat Mafia 2 Mobile about 10 times, and I enjoy the story and gameplay. This game released when the iPhone and Samsung phones were not the dominant phones of the time. Java-enabled phones were the dominant phones, and the games on these phones were simply 2D arcade games. However, Mafia 2 Mobile was more complex than the ordinary 2D scroller. In Mafia 2 Mobile, you can jack cars, lockpick cars, buy weapons, do side missions and activities. In Chapter 12, during the casino mission, you can actually play the slot machine and win money. A game inside a game. This is the first Mafia game to have a casino. There is a casino in Mafia 3, but it's empty and you can't gamble or use the slot machines. Even on my 10th playthrough of Mafia 2 Mobile, I found some side missions I had missed. My only dislike of the game is that it doesn't tell you where all the side missions are. You have to go out of your way searching through every corner of the map, every inch of the map to find NPCs that give you missions. I initially thought that there was only one side mission per level, but I was wrong. In some levels there's multiple side missions. My favorite mission from the game is Chapter 12 because it takes place in a casino and I like the mission layout and design. The mission I hated the most was Chapter 14, Slaughterhouse Party. If you thought the Fair Play Racing mission was hard, then you won't like this level since it is much harder. Out of the entire 2K Mafia franchise, this mission is the hardest. The layout of the level is very tight and cramped, and this mission has the most enemies, over 50, and they're everywhere. There's no checkpoints, so if you die, you have to do the mission all over again from the beginning. And you can't rely on pills and health kits to restore your HP, because there's not a lot of them. And this level takes some serious skill and patience. When I uploaded my full walkthrough of this game, a lot of people who played this game commented below that they could never make it past this level and they gave up. Gameplay wise, in the game there are 3 different guns, a pistol, a shotgun, and a Tommy gun. And depending on if you kill Don Vinci, there's also a sniper rifle with a scope. After you kill enemies, you can pick up pills and health kits to restore your HP by pausing the game at any moment. You can lockpick cars to steal them, very similar to the console version, and there's even a wanted system with a maximum of 4 stars, also similar to the console version. If you drive a vehicle, you have to be careful about ramming into other cars or getting shot at because the game does have car damage. Cars can blow up if they are too damaged. There's 3 different types of cars in the game, and the driving is pretty straightforward and easy. You can even do donuts and burn rubber. For a 2010 Java game, it reached its full potential. I would rate the gameplay an 8 out of 10. The story for Mafia 2 Mobile is complete and makes sense, unlike the console version, which has a lot of plot holes. In the console version of Mafia 2, there's a huge debate whether Henry Tomasino is a rat, but in the mobile version, Henry Tomasino is Don Falcone's loyal capo. The characters in Mafia 2 Mobile are also unique, and their dialogue is pretty good. The Italian words said by the Italian characters are good, and the slangs said by the prison inmates are also good and help give the game more authenticity. The thing that I was most disappointed about Mafia 2 Mobile's story was Don Moretti. In the game, you can kill him, but there's no dialogue or words exchanged. And Don Moretti doesn't even have his own unique avatar like Don Falcone and Don Vinci do. Overall, I would rate the story for Mafia 2 Mobile a 7.5 out of 10. Music-wise, there's only 2 audio soundtracks in the game, one for the main menu and one for the gameplay. I really wish that you could hear the main menu soundtrack in the gameplay because it's extremely annoying hearing the same soundtrack for 2 hours straight on loop when playing. I would give the music a 5 out of 10. Since I gave the gameplay an 8 out of 10, the story a 7.5 out of 10, and the music a 5 out of 10, the final score for Mafia 2 Mobile is a 6.8 out of 10. That's the score I would give the game. It's a pretty decent game with a proper story, unique characters and locations, and the gameplay is pretty good for a Java game. Differences between Mafia 2 Mobile. In Mafia 1, Luigi is a bartender who's retired, but in Mafia 2 Mobile, Luigi is a soldato for Vincenzo, since in Chapter 1, Vincenzo tells Marco, "Meet my soldati Luigi." In Mafia 2 Mobile, the city is called Empire City, and in the Mafia 2 console version, it's called Empire Bay. In Mafia 2 Mobile, Henry Tomasino is a capito for Don Falcone, while in the console version for Mafia 2, Henry Tomasino is a soldato for Don Clemente, and then later a soldato for Don Falcone. In Mafia 2 Mobile, there's 3 families that run the city. There's the Falcone family, the Vinci family, and the Moretti family. However, in the console version for Mafia 2, there's 3 families also. There's the Falcone family, the Vinci family, and the Clemente family. In Mafia 2 Mobile, in Chapter 15, you never kill Don Falcone, but you have an option to kill Don Vinci. However, in the console version for Mafia 2, in Chapter 15 you kill Don Falcone, but you never kill Don Vinci. And in Mafia 2 Mobile, there's an alternate ending with an epilogue. However, in the console version for Mafia 2, there's no alternate ending or epilogues.
Late heart seemed dark, silvery moon is shining through the trees. Cast to me you, sound of kisses floating on the breeze. Act 1,